Okay, so let's talk a little bit. I mean, one of the things I really found interesting, in terms of what I'm doing with ePedaler, what I'm looking for is a bike to go with this system that I'm developing that does some things that you kind of already, I think, developed here. For example, the wellness or fitness part of that. So let's talk a little bit about how you take an electric motor on a bicycle and monitor somebody's level of fitness and their heart rate. That really intrigues me.
Yes. So one of the things strategically we had done was to gravitate towards ANT plus protocol.
Okay.
Now that protocol is inbuilt in our motor and our console.
Okay, so explain for people who don't know, including myself. I think I've heard the term, but explain what is ANT plus, A-N-T plus, what is that?
So this is one of the protocols which was developed by Garmin.
Okay.
And it is widely used protocol in bicycle sports.
Okay.
So you have got several cadence meters, heart rate meters, power meters, which operate on this protocol.
Okay.
Right. So it allows us compatibility with a lot of those devices.
Okay. So if I've got a Garmin watch or something like, one of these devices that let me track my heart rate and so on, that
Yes.
would be necessary. In other words, you're not picking up my heart rate by how I'm holding the handlebars.
No, you would need.
Yeah.
So in order for us to read your heart rate, there is a heart rate strap,
Okay.
and plus heart rate strap, which you can mount on your chest.
Okay, all right. I actually have one downstairs, although it's a Polaris instead. But
yes. Yes. So the way we are evolving the product is that you have got on our bicycle. Essentially, you don't need a trainer. So you could install the bicycle on a just a bicycle stand,
right,
and turn the motor into a generator.
Ah, okay.
Right, and you could control the regeneration. Right, so you could control the regeneration through the console, and you could make it light or you can make it hard,
right,
depending upon how you want your heart rate to be.
Yep. Okay.
Right. So that is the basic setup we have today. In our system.
Okay.
One would be to be able to do heart rate control. When you're riding it, we control the motor so that you maintain your heart rate.
Oh, okay.
You have a target heart rate.
Right.
And you say, well, I want to have a target heart rate of 120. So if you go above that heart rate, we increase the level of assistance you have. And if you go below that heart rate, we withdraw the assistance from the motor.
Is there any way, I'm just speaking, theoretically at this point, is there any way to do that without having to put this strap around my chest, which obviously, some guy wouldn't mind, but probably some woman's going to have a problem, You're thinking I'm thinking in terms of, when they're out riding, or in my particular case where we're actually wanting to rent these bikes to people, and that when they take the ride, it provides them with not only, the fun part, but also some physiological information, some physiological feedback.
Yes, I mean, we don't have it today in the bicycle, but theoretically, you could input your weight information in the console.
Right.
And as you're riding it, it would basically calculate your your calories burnt.
Right. Well, which is sort of what I'm looking for here. But what I'm interested in though is that how do you separate? How does the system know between the contributions made by my muscles and the contributions being made by the electric motor? How do you differentiate those?
Yes, there are. Based on your input, you can actually compute let's say what is the total calories burned,
Right.
and you could take out the motor contribution from it, and you can say, okay, this is effectively what you have contributed.
Okay. And now, is that something you have possible now, or is that something that needs to be developed yet?
No, that's something which we have been working on.
Oh, okay.
We have, and we have got a good amount of R&D going into this, where we are able to provide this, to the consumers.
Okay. So let's talk about now. I want to talk to you about this more at a later time when we're not so public about it, because obviously there are things that I want to chat about with respect to my business. But let's talk about. So you were recently, I believe, over at the Eurobike show. What kind of reception did you have over there? And who are you talking with, and where might I expect to see this system being deployed in the future, on whose bikes?
Yes, I mean we are at Eurobike every year. We have got now 70 dealers and OEMs internationally.
Okay.
And our reception is quite good. We are really focused on small to medium scale OEMs.
Okay.
Right. We are not focused on large OEMs. We are deliberately growing organically or deliberately growing because we want to have a very strong foundation.
Okay.
And we don't want to have the product all over the place.
Yeah.
So we select our OEMs quite carefully, quite diligently, and people who we work very closely with. Okay. So it is not like throwing the product over to a company and say, here, it's a great product, you can use it. So we are very happy with that. We have got we have got key partnerships in Europe. We are developing key partnerships in the US and Canada. And we like it. The way it's evolving, we like it. That people understand the product.
All right.
People understand the R&D which has gone behind it. People understand that it is not. We are still able to deliver a cutting edge technology, and we don't have a team of 80 people and $200 million behind like Bosch has spent.
Right.
Right. That we can still change the world with creative ideas and with a small team.
Right. Okay.
It's like the movie 300.
Yeah. Yeah, but that only worked for a while, and it worked in a very narrow pass.
Well, we have the market is at the right place for us. Right place at the right time. And we are more like what Apple was, when PC was, taking over the world.
Right. Right.
So that's the way we see it, and that's the way we want to keep it at least for a while.
Well, okay. So you've got competitors. Obviously, you've got the guys up in. God, why does it suddenly slip my mind now?
Bionics, yes, Canada.
Well, you've got the guys up in Canada. You've got Crystal X or Crystal Light or something like that. So another Chinese hub motor kit that that you can buy, that type of thing. So where do you stand in terms of pricing in that kind of range? And are you only doing this to OEMs, or are you making it available as a kit for dealers to install or individuals?
Yes. So all right. So we have a number of. We don't really compete with Bionics or Crystal Light.
Okay.
We are more focused on our strengths.
Okay.
Our strengths are that we have got a tremendous amount of technology, and we have got a tremendous amount of reliability and performance.
Okay.
Right. And so we don't consider other hub motors as our competition, because they don't have anything which is what we have, and it is not people who use Crystal Light are not our customers. It's we have, when we do an installation, our system, when it's installed on a bike, it's a very clean install.
Okay.
You don't have bunch of wires coming out, and you don't have these controllers, and you're not, we are all about making the bicycle experience very unique.
Yeah.
Right? We're not targeted towards, okay, let's have a, just put a bicycle together. We got some batteries, we got some wires, we got this and that. It has to be a very, from an experience standpoint, a unique experience for the customer.
Right. So ultimately, do I end up? I guess the other thing too is that what I'm looking for is I want something that is not markedly different from a regular bicycle. If you looked at this and compared it to, for example, the City Bike or the Capital Bike shares, they would look pretty close. There might be a little bit of difference in the size of that rear hub, but they look somewhat similar. Is that something is that possible?
I guess let me have your question again.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out is that where does your motor sort of fit in terms of making the motor and the whole electric bicycle disappear, and it looks like a regular bicycle, doggone near weighs about the same as a regular bicycle. How close are you, to getting to that point?
Yeah, I think today, we still have got motor. Obviously, motor weight is not zero, so obviously that is still a problem in being able to have even a 4.5 kilogram motor. So I think that motor weight needs to go down. People have tried to, and the bottom bracket obviously is not a solution because it makes the whole bottom bracket look very pregnant, and the battery still is I think I think people have come up with very smart solutions for batteries, but still batteries are still bulkier.
Yeah.
So I think from a whole standpoint of future, we are still very far away from having a true ingenious electric bicycle.
Okay.
Right. I think eventually we have to have a motor which weighs merely a kilogram or less.
Is that doable?
Yes, I think it is doable.
Okay.
It is doable to be able to have a motor which is a kilogram or less, and you have a very nice integration of the motor in the bicycle. And it can't be a bottom bracket solution because that is just very inefficient. In order to have any kind of efficiency, you have to spin the motor at very high speed, and then you have a chain which is linking you to the road.
Right.
Which is I think a wrong way to do things.
Yeah.
It has to be the direct transfer of power of the distance from the motor to the tire to the road. And the batteries are concerned, yes. I mean, the lithium-ion batteries are still, I think, we are in dark ages when it comes to battery technology. We have, as a humankind, we have spent millions of dollars, many years to be able to, we are not even close to what nature has given us in terms of, energy density.
Yeah.
So it's a long ways to be able to go and have something which is safe and which can be in a really tiny water bottle and give us a good amount of range for electric bicycles.
Yeah. Well, I think the photograph that you sent me was of a mountain bike that looked like it had kind of a long, elongated water bottle there mounted to the frame, and that obviously is the battery pack. So
yes,
cool. Well, look, I'd love to keep this conversation going, but we're getting on here, and we want to make sure that we get you back to work. But I do want to let me do this. I'm going to send you something that I put together, and we can maybe discuss that offline, because I think what you've developed here is basically a lot of what I'm looking for what I want to do. So let's chat about that. So if you're willing.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Thank you for your time, Bill, and really appreciate appreciate this tremendously. And yes, I would love to be able to talk to you more.
Okay, good. Well, do me also a favor, and if you can, maybe get me some nice photographs of the motors, or
Yes.
maybe a example of a bike with it that I can use. It needs to be a fairly large format. So if you can do that, that would be great.
I would love to do that, Bill.
Good, thank you. Okay, Rakesh, I appreciate your taking the time, and look forward to keeping the dialogue going and maybe even doing business together.
Oh, that sounds wonderful, Bill. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
I really appreciate it.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.